we are, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, the spectator bug hit us again, but it's already the old boys planting the bomb on that A-bomb side as Dean is a dead man. Salazar says Dolan will find only one. Ralen adds another headshot to Torox. And as of secures ahead of Tom, we have a 2-on-3. Actually, make it just 1-on-3 for off. The lone player from 9 Pandas will need to clutch it out. Second is his. Where are Goofy and Tutson? This will be quite problematic as he's in the wide open. He falls. And that's an important first step towards the right direction for the old boys. Again, we find ourselves on train. Remember, this was the very first map on which we saw the old boys. In one of their first matches, it was against Huba Buba. And we still haven't forgotten Mitrus's 1-on-3 Glock clutch. Tactical timeout now taken by the Polish side. Wanting to prepare the strategy in case URSA brings in the extra artillery. It's not going to be a lot. Usually they go for some SMGs with some upgraded pistols, light util. You might end up also seeing a scout out of VOD, depending on what setup they want to run. So, this is probably the reason as to why we have those 30 extra seconds taken by the team that is currently standing on our right. Okay, the scout will go over to Torox. Triple MP9 with a 5.7 and the light util that we talked about. Again, the emphasis on this map will be on which of these two squads will do better on the T side. Last time around, a single round was the difference, 13-11. And I say the single round because it was URSA winning one more round on the T side. As now Alvin Torox find quickly 2 kills. The scout doing some damage. Ralen hiding himself inside that smoke coming out from mid. But unfortunately for the Polish player, Foxes was a step ahead of the play. Michu and Tutson, what can they do? It's so difficult, 2-on-5 with so much time on the clock. They're way too far away from one another. Now, there is a world in which Michu finds one, Tutson pulls the attention away, even though right now URSA is more concentrated on holding the control over that A-bomb side. It seems like Michu wants to simply go back, and as Tutson catches Dean, he will also find Torox. Hold your breaths. Now we have a 2-on-3. Smoke and a flash still available in the back pocket of Michu. And they have lost his tracks. They don't know where he is right now. Will they combine to pressure Ivy? I have a feeling that Michu wants to do exactly this. Azal creeps out, but gets headshotted. Oh my goodness. A 2-on-5 now down into a 2-on-2. 23 seconds on the clock. Where is Foxes with a Mac-10 around the A-bomb side where Michu is headed towards. Salazar right behind his teammates is back. But have a look. Tutson has spotted the first. Tutson knows about the second. And the 2-on-5 has just been converted. You shall never underestimate Tutson and Michu. Because this is the old boys' map pick. And this is their territory. Oh my. What a round. What a round. Unbelievable for URSA. That's a big slap to their face. And as you can see, it's an economical one as well. Just the upgraded pistols again. Oh man. Feels like they had that force buy in their hands. But Michu and Tutson exploited the small gap. Some with the opener. It's Tutson finding one more. Where is he? There it is. Deep mole. Couple more shots. Foxes needs to run for the hills. Seems like this time around, none of the traps that URSA tried setting up will catch the old boys. Ralen with an easy one. Fox is too low on points of health. Too far away from the action. And yeah, that previous round win will haunt URSA for a tiny bit more. You're a map down. Let's not forget that they were the team that actually picked Nuke. In the round 2 of the upper bracket, when these two squads played against each other, It was Dust too, and even though they ended up losing it with a 17-19 scoreline, at least it was close, and Dust 2 is their best map. They are two maps which the majority of URSA's opponents pick against them. And these are our first two maps tonight, Nuke and Train. Flawless round secured by the old boys. You keep on looking to stabilize the economy early on. Alf immediately pulls out the op, and Force will be added. I want to see URSA going aggressive. They cannot remain static. They have to force the issue. Push T-Con. Take kill with deep smokes. Send Salazar forward early on. Have Alf or Foxes covering Ivy. Maybe even have a two-man setup. Why not? Not a bad idea. Comes the HE. And the jump was spotted, but it's Radlin finding Foxes. Another opener found. Look at where Michu is. Will be hurt because of the tick of that Molly. But it's a strong position for him. Smoke immediately given for Z. Goofy already out of pop. Couple of things given. Rallen still somehow survives. I have no clue how he still remains among the living ones. But Michu could be the big problem. They still don't know where he is. Will they spot him? Yes, they will. Torox deals with that pressure. And as Goofy falls, it's a 3-on-3. Small HP advantage over to URSA. Rallen isolated because of the smoke. One bullet will do it. There it is. Sorox deletes his Polish opponent. Dudson and Tom. Another advantageous situation for URSA. They cannot afford themselves to lose this one. It looks impossible. Salazar will find the final 2 kills. With which the CT side is finally on the board. Even upgrade the AK, so those are some even better news. Unfortunately, they will need to succeed one more time. As the old boys are gonna run it back. The big greens are online. See Dudson had a phenomenal nuke. Now misses on the shot. Survives with 16. Tommy Rallen with 2. Oh, somehow the molly didn't catch Dudson. Honestly, a little bit of luck there for the Polish Opa. I'm not really sure how he didn't die, honestly, in that position. However, attention has been pulled away. The fight's happening on that B-bomb side, courtesy to the numbers advantage that the old boys found. And it will be, once again, Michu, this time from Ivy. Exceeding our expectations. Dean will spot him, but immediately the trade comes in. Salazar, last guy remaining. Bomb shall easily get planted on the empty A-bomb site. And again, Salazar falls, with which none of the guns is going to be saved. The old boys immediately go back to winning ways. 4-1. And here comes a tech pause as Dean has disconnected. Let's hope that he's going to be back. But I honestly would not really mind to see a tactical timeout for the side of URSA. As old boys' advantage keeps on growing. Today is definitely their day. You're quite prepared. We talked about how Radan stayed up until late yesterday. He was streaming on his channel and he was watching closely URSA's playstyle. He was exploring the gaps in their defenses. He was talking about the different setups which you can use to counter them when they are playing on the T side. And as we saw, Nuke, a 9-3 CT side for the old boys, led them to the success that they found. Foxes 1-5, a slow start for him. Dean as well has been absent. A really difficult map of Nuke. Now struggles here on Train. And think about what a run this is going to be for the old boys. They reached the upper bracket final. They faced a team that they eliminated in round 2. And if we have to flip the script for URSA, they beated everyone, literally everyone. Starting from lower bracket round 1, going through so many teams to find themselves here against the same opponent that beat them, that sent them to the lower bracket. Half bite comes out from URSA. They try to keep it active, moving around the map. I don't mind it. We will even see a stack as they will group. Old boys are, of course, expecting this aggression, staying calmly, not really wanting to test out the waters. Instead, they are aware, possibly, of the fact that the economy is not at its best state. So there it is. Tom will get headshotted. One more peek out of Goofy. Will not get a second. Maybe there is a chance. Let's say the remainder of the T side still hasn't made its way on towards that A bomb site. Foxes will be quick to try and reposition. Let's see whether he goes deeper onto the site. He can. Spots the shoulder. That's one more added to his tally. But wait a second. This could be the half by paying off. Tutson, quick as a lightning, strikes off. Dorks holds on to the scout. Let's see whether he can tag. No, he cannot. Misses out on the shot. Now needs to run for the hills. In the meantime, Foxes will look to go for the longer route. And this side might end up being the right call, because soon he's gonna get tested. It's a really strong off angle. The only disadvantage is that Dudson will peeking in with the right shoulder. And as he crouches, he found the head that he needed. Torx already on his way. 1 and 2 required out of him. If URSA wants to add another, the bomb will get planted again. Scout shot into the head of Tutson. Good one, Torox. Hoping that he's going to be able to spot out Rallen. Both players, I do believe, don't have Kevlars nor helmets. So, a bullet to the body would kind of seal the deal. Let's see who's going to be quicker. Rallen tries to buy as much time as possible. Torox steps out the bomb. Here comes Rallen. Torox has no idea. So this should have been an easy kill, but as time runs lower and lower, there isn't a defuse kit. Torox has accepted his own fate. 5-1 will be the scoreline in favor of the Old Boys. Okay, now the upgrades will once again come in. But again, I'm just lacking that extra aggressiveness. 2-man setups in IV. Deeper setups in T-Con. There are different ways in which you can pressure on the CT side of one of the most CT-sided maps that we have in a competitive map pool. Yo, Campus, thank you so much again, man. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. I really appreciate the support tonight. It comes at a really important moment for the development of this stream. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Truly, has been phenomenal. 5 more gifted subs during our lower bracket final. Okay, it will be a B hit. -1 is Rallen fell early. Here they come, only 3 guys defending it. Salazar will need to combine with Dean. The worst performing members on the side of URSA, who are now responsible for a big defense. Salazar deleted. Dean will also be traded. This now opens up a window of opportunity, but for who? As Foxes is silent as a ninja, looking to stop the bomb from getting planted. Goofy has taken down off, but the timing is everything. Michu will cover up for his teammate. And again, it's Torox. Again, it's a 1-on-3. But how do you do this? You have hope, surely. You have an op in front of you. Better just pick it up and run. Run, run, run. For the hills. Just save it. Because the Old Boys are looking sharp. They're looking good. They're looking aware. Aware that tonight, individually, they are performing better. So far as a team, that's also the case. we cannot see it because I don't have a replay machine. But man, it's just really, really difficult for URSA. Even though excuse me, their ideas are not bad. We saw how Foxes was quickly moving close towards the train. There was a time he could have picked up two, but Michu just turned his head over to check to see. He thought about it. And that was the kill that prevented URSA from winning this one out. And already 6 rounds on the D side. That's quite a lot, as Dunning says in the chat. Absolutely, I do agree. It's definitely a lot. And just look at the discrepancy in the guns. While Tutson has fallen, Michu has taken a lot of damage. It has to be on off. Needs to go nuclear. Needs to go huge. He'll get a chance. Surely he will get a chance. No players coming out from Ivy. Molly and a flash given. Here they come. Tom aware. And the bullet will go straight into his body. Off his reposition. One more quick scope onto another player of the Old Boys. It seems like this time around URSA will be able to recover from the shock that happened a couple rounds ago. Unless Michu has something to say about it. Rallen, as you can see, a bit too far away from the action. Wants to stay on his own. Thinking through what the strategy is going to be for the next couple of rounds. And what really surprises me is not only the way that the Old Boys have been approaching those rounds, but just the preparation. They are aware of the strategies of the setups that URSA loves going for. Av with a 4K. Brandon with the time that is left. 2 options. You either just panically run towards B or just save. Seems like it will be option number 2. AK survives. URSA gets to a second. And because of the fact that the previous rounds were quite expensive for the Old Boys, look at the economical consequences of this. Loss bonus at its minimum. There isn't going to be a lot of money for Tom, so a Tech 9. Tutson can afford the Kalashnikov with a Kevlar and a helmet, but overall, the U2 is quite limited. Couple of incendiaries. Quick HE. Rallen taken down to 44. Already pressure towards Deacon not paying off. Alf is once again positioned for success. Dodges on the flash, but the jump is a success. Maybe not. Maybe not. I was a bit too quick to judge. Michu is out. Opener delivered. Alf looking to be the hard carry of URSA. 10 kills already on his count. Remember that on Nuke, URSA didn't have a single player with a positive KD difference. No one. But as for the Old Boys, it was only Rallen, excuse me, who ended up with 10 kills and 13 deaths. Alf keeps on landing those shots. Incremental. If there is some hope, right now it's called off. Comes the smoke. Incendiary. Let's see, maybe Goofy can fish for something. There comes the first headshot, but the second he will not be able to transform into a secure head. So Rallen's all that is left. I think that he once again is looking to just save that AK. And just to respond, Goofy and Michu were tier 1 recently, and it's crazy how fast things change. Yeah, you know, I mean, in the end, like, both were tier 1 players, and they were solid tier 1 players, you know. But Rallen as well. We can actually talk about Rallen as a tier 1 player. In my eyes, he was also there. Dotson, maybe sort of a tier 2 player, depending on how you look at it. There is a reason why these guys are called the Old Boys. Quite a lot of history behind each and every one. But I think that a win here in ESEA Advanced, and a potential first place and a chance to play in the DreamHack Knockout Stockholm tournament could be their saving grace. And no, not even saving grace, because I don't think that they need to be saved, but will give them quite a lot of VRS points. And this can be a trampoline for something bigger, as Alf is definitely looking to go big tonight here on Train. Round number 10. He's the only one that is looking to be competitive and has been doing so much heavy lifting. Foxes will go down to Rallen. Okay, the AK finds the equalizer. Smoke in between the trains. Torox will play around it. Has spotted one. Has the support of his teammates. Rallen finds another. Let's see whether the pistols can actually play bodyguard to Rallen. No, they cannot. Salazar and Torox deal with those. Tutson has picked up an AK as well, and this is where we will feel his influence. Where is Michu? Just with a Glock, not the best gun to have in this type of scenarios. And as he has already accepted his fate, he will also go down together with Tutson, with which it's another round added to URSA's scoreboard. 4-6. Remember what I said in the beginning. URSA is a really resilient squad. Even though players like Dean and Salazar are still relatively young, this team has proven that whatever happens, irrespective of the amount of pressure which you put on them, they can at least try and make the maps they are in as competitive as possible. Secondary flash was phenomenal. Goofy sets up Tom for success. And the op of Alf will once again be the stop. Will once again just say no. You're not allowed. Torox with 2 adds more insult to injury. Goofy and Michu will at least try and get the bomb planted to secure the extra cash. Here comes Salazar, C4 explosive down, so at least the extra dollars will go the old boys' way, but nothing outside of that, because Alf with another multi, Torox with 2 will deliver URSA their 5th, and now we start talking about a competitive Train. Yeah, sure, 6 on the T side is a lot, like, think of it as for example, I don't know, having an AK, I guess, playing against a pistol. This is the difference right now in the rounds. But we talked about that the winner of this Train will be the team having a better T side. And theoretically, URSA can still have a better T side. Small margins, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to sound like the crazy professor guy, but remember, again, I just want to emphasize on this, because we have some history between these two squads. URSA got a single round more than the old boys the last time that they faced each other on Train. So you cannot be comfortable with the 6 which you have gotten, and they will push through the molly. Salazar will make a massive mistake. Second line of defense is Dean, has been isolated courtesy to the molly, so the C4 explosive will once again be planted. This time is the numbers advantage over to the old boys' side. Deep smoke. Foxes plays around it. Goofy spots him and shuts him down, and those are quite a lot of problems which Alf needs to deal with. Holds on to an op, relies on his teammates. Sorak provides. There is a chance. Small, but nonetheless there is. Alf dealt with. That was the big target. That was the big scope which you want to secure. And unless Torox goes nuclear, which is not going to happen, 7-5 will be on the cards, as it's a great T side out of the Polish squad. Okay, we have switched sides. Overall, Torox has started contributing, but Foxes is not there. Dean is holding them back. 3 kills. He has to pick something more. He has to find more impact. Yes, we are not talking about the most influential player. Dean is a supportive element. He's still really young. He's actually the youngest player on the squad of URSA. But when you're playing in a lower bracket final, when you are a single best of 3 away from the grand final of ESEA Advanced, When you have lost to the Nuclear Tigeries and Min Latte in the previous season, and in season 53 you lost to 1 win in K27, 2 squads which are now playing in the ESL Challenger League, you want to make sure that at least you look competitive. If you're about to lose, of course. Which I don't think that currently is in the hands of URSA. Even though the likelihood of them losing really depends on this second pistol round. Rallen, the rotation player, already set up for success. There is going to be a deep molly to push him a bit further. So Michu will be isolated. There isn't going to be a way for him to get that extra cover. There comes the molly. Rallen stays for just a tiny bit inside it. As Goofy is a dead man. Michu finds one before he falls. Tutson takes a lot of damage as the headshots have not been found by the USPs. The hope for the old boys is named Tom. 79 minus his head. Tutson low. Cannot do anything. Ursa will find an important pistol round. They needed it. They absolutely needed it. Will be interesting to see whether the old boys will invest going into the next one. They are a type of a team that loves investing after dropping the CT side pistol. Overall, this has been the tendency in the economy nowadays. Let's also not forget that in round number 2, it was a 5-on-2 converted by the old boys to save themselves from certain disaster. Let's see how they decide to play it out. Usually when you are in this type of a force buy, you just want to press forward. This means that you send your B anchor a little bit deep up. There it is. He receives a run boost, so Goofy will definitely look for the opener. Those sticks were heard, so Salazar knows that the danger is around the corner. Smoke for T-Con. Tom will look to help his teammate out. Another molly invested. They have secured upper ramp. That's a third molly. Quite a lot of Yuto forced out from Ursa, even though they still have plenty of it in terms of smokes and flashes. Goofy plays ahead of this flash. Right now, Michu is currently covering B. Could be anywhere. The smoke will buy some extra seconds. A lot of players standing calmly inside Ivy. That's Sorox. Seems like the final call would be a split for A. Not impossible for Ursa to actually reroute and go for a split on B, leaving Torox to play really light. They still have quite a lot of options on the table. And it will come down to the reaction. It will come down to how well the old boys read out the play. Here comes the activation. Torox trying to gather as much intel as possible. As Foxes creeps out of pop. The fake has succeeded. Will Foxes get the bomb planted here on A? Looks quite safe. Yes, he will do this job. And as he does that, probably it will be a safe. Not a bad idea, actually, to replay the same round. You're either way not going to have enough money. So just save. This will be it. Ursa ties it. As we are about to see a really exciting and seems like another close strain. Mirage will be our third map. The same decider as in the previous best of 3 between these two. Foxes plus $1,200. Make it plus some more courtesy to the Glock. So no guns will be saved. It was not allowed by the T side. Good job. You want to chase. You want to make sure that you maintain the economical pressure. So just 2 Deagles with a P250. Nothing more, nothing less than that. I remember casting URSA on train back in the CCT contenders. And one of the things that I noticed was that when they secure the pistol round on the T side here on train, they are really good with creating a momentum. They're good with turning a spark into a flame. And by doing this, they manage to put their opponents into some really uncomfortable positions. Foxes spots the pushing player, so he will call for some extra help. The Latvian, well, he will not need any help, never mind. Triple kill found. Tom last man standing, he falls, and now it's Team URSA into the lead. Okay, we start talking about a switcheroo. We start talking about a really uncomfortable position for the old boys, even though they will find comfort in playing with the better guns. Tight margins. There's some good decision making demonstrated by URSA on the T side. Yo, TETS, good to see you. Don't you have a cast? Aren't you actually casting an ESEA Challenger League match? Or I'm mistaken? Finished. Wow, okay. Lovely. Seems like tonight's matches have ended up quite quickly. I saw that 500 lost also to K27 as Tom and Rallen will not lose to Ov and Foxes. Another 3-on-5 with quite a lot of time on the clock. The thing is that it was the old boys converting those 2-on-5s, 3-on-4s during their CT side, during their T side, excuse me. But Torox being left all alone once again will not lead to anything more, maybe apart from catching Rallen. Okay, there it is. Hasn't lost a single point of health. Picks up the op. 1-on-3 clutch. It's really difficult. He can still pick up the bomb. Economy is in a good state, so probably he can have the green light to actually go for it and at least try. Yeah, sure, on such a big map like Train, they could be coming out from anywhere. So the safer call is absolutely to go back into T-spawn and save the orb that he's currently holding on to. But finally, the old boys will be able to find a round on the CT side. Again, feels like those rounds have been quickly decided. Teams not hesitating away for dueling in the early stages. Really thinking about how can we find early advantages. I think that Old Boys' playstyle has been slightly more confident. Several really close situations that they managed to turn in their favor that are now putting them at 8-8. And if you're a team like URSA, I feel like it's that ghost, it's that thought in your mind saying, oh, think about what could have happened had you not lost that 2-on-5 in round number 2. That 4-on-3 which you had earlier in the first half. It would have been a difference of at least 3 rounds right now in their favor. On their opponents' map pick nonetheless. You're playing for survival. You lose here, you're gone. One step away from the grand finale of the ESEA Advances 55th season. Opener kill secured by Tutson once again. He has been exceptional with the op. Hitting shot after shot. Leveled up on nuke, creating so many problems for URSA. And again, they're really separated. They will need to combine. Dean will go together with Salazar. They are relying on Torox to try and find some extra pressure. Baiting out the rotation could actually be beneficial, depending on whether Torox hits it. He does. Okay, now we start talking about a dangerous round. We haven't seen a lot of instances where it was URSA converting those disadvantageous situations. A 4-on-5 that could end up being a win for Team URSA. If they keep on doing what they have been doing so far, well, that's not the way to do it. Triple kill for Tutson. Salazar, indeed, they need to pick up the bomb as quickly as they can. They find the head of Tutson. In the meantime, Goofy is low. They know where he's going to be coming out from, so one can just simply guard the smoke. The push will not happen. Goofy knows it, that it was way too risky. Does he want to go for it? Has a defuse kit. Money is gone, so I think that he wants to save the AWP. Loss bonus is not at its best. So this is what makes the decision even more logical. Okay, so Team URSA will be able to bounce back. Well played on Torox's side. Dean contributed with 2 on his own. We said that Dean, being the youngest player on that URSA squad, needs to level up. He needs to show better performance, because else it will mean bye-bye. And I think he heard us. Round number 18. 2900 is the loss bonus, so slightly better than what I thought. I thought that it was 2400. So we're going to be seeing those M4s and the MP9 for Michu. Tutson remains with an AWP in hand. So overall, eyes on him and how much pressure he's going to be able to create with his positioning. Usually sets himself around Ivy. Posted with the op, looking T-Con. Not a bad choice. Can quickly switch over to Ivy in case he sees something unusual. Salazar and Dean are once again going to be playing together. Feels like URSA wants to put all their chips on a potential Ivy pressure again. They are one of those squads that loves going for these type of strategies when it's a close score line. Goofy looking to fight again, and he wins out. Oh boy, this could be a problem. This could once again be a massive problem. Feels like history just repeats itself once again. The exact same thing happened in the CCT Contenders playoffs. The exact same type of round. It is similar scoreline. If I'm not mistaken, back then it was maybe 9-9. They get stopped. Now it's so hard because the CT player would be patient, will just wait out. Rallen activates. Rallen picks up 2. Everything falls in place for the old boys. And Foxes is forced to save. Unfortunate turn of events and a really well played round by the old boys. Put us back into the tie unless Foxes goes nuclear, but you can see where the bomb has been dropped too far away from him. 13 seconds, time is ticking. Time is not working for him. And as it doesn't, 9-9 appears. Okay, those ESEA Challenger League matches might have ended up quickly. But after the 13-7 on Nuke, we started seeing some solid fight. And this turns out being a way too expensive round. They lost 3 guns. That was unnecessary. You could have just allowed for Foxes to save the AK. This hurts your economy so much. I really dislike what we just saw out of the old boys. A tactical timeout taken. I think that this essentially alleviates a lot of the pressure from the shoulders of URSA. Even though they will end up going against the M4s, the AWP, and the AK, they managed to make it, as I pointed out, quite expensive. Forcing guys like Goofy and Tom to invest. $50 left for Rallen. Michu with 150. This could end up being a problem, especially with the fact that the loss bonus is at only 1900. Let's see, important round for both sides. Round number 19 could be a deal breaker for both sides, depending on how it plays out. Eyes on Tutson and off. They are the main actors in the early stages of these rounds. A lot of mollies to prevent any CT aggression. Default smokes, blocking the entrance from Ramp and Ivy. Again, it just feels like URSA wants to simplify it. Not an opponent of it. We have been saying throughout the season that oftentimes in those Tier 3, Tier 2 matches here in Advanced, what works best for the squads are those simplified plays. As we see, Salazar is sharp, Goofy is a deadman. Tutson has not been spotted. He hears out the footsteps, will get a chance, but misses it out on the shot. And as the bomb is already planted, you saw Radan a bit too far away from the action. Michu can try, but I think that he'll find himself in a dead end. They know where he's at, they surround him. He follows the fate of his teammates. Team URSA comes out on top after winning a really, really important round. This will allow them to maintain the control over the economy and will likely also give them a ticket to 11. Torox is 14. Foxes has stepped up. And after the first half where the only guy with a positive KD difference was off, now we actually have 3 more. With Dean's scoreline not looking that bad. Individually, URSA is feeling good right now on the T side. They have started out shooting the old boys. While you might be happy with the turn of events on Nuke, here we talk about a completely different beast. Again, the rush will be a decider, and what a map would be for us to say. 13-9 was the win that the old boys secured against this exact same opponent on the third and final map in round number 2. And then for URSA, a 2-1 win versus Hyper Spirit in the lower bracket, a 2-0 win against Quentry, a 2-0 win against Min Latte. They beat it Leo, they beat it Forza Reload to make it all the way to this final match. They even beat it Team Dragon yesterday after a 3-map affair, and there were so many moments where I certainly thought that URSA will be going down. URSA will once again be eliminated in the lower bracket of the playoffs of ESEA Advanced, but no, not in 2025. Season 55 is definitely quite special for them. As they clean up flawlessly. 11-9. Here we go. Entering the final stages of this train. Will the old boys hold on? We will reach the final destination. The 24th round. This is what we are aiming for. Another close train between the two. This time around, we will not see Tutson holding on to a big drain. Just an M4, a standard, a default 1-4 setup early. To leave Goofy all alone, to be holding, to be the anchor player. Shadow has been spotted. Rallen doesn't manage to do any damage to Foxes. Bits of information acquired by the T side already. You also take Ramp, and I think they'll probably want to also push towards Pop, which will leave them with so much real estate so early on. Not a lot of Utah left, 2 smokes and an HE. And those smokes are not in the hands of your B anchors. Here they come. Trying to force out the rotation. Can the old boys survive? Can they actually foresee what will happen within the next 30 seconds? Where would the bomb go? Could end up being a split for A, honestly, with the positioning of Torox. This is a round which we have already seen, and the catch is there. Salazar finds the head. Goofy trades, but the better setup is over towards that A bomb side, where the D side is headed towards. Zalf will try to fight his way out. It just feels impossible. Where is Torox now activating, but he hasn't spotted anyone. Appears on the radar, makes Stutson disappear, and as Torox picks up 2, he has the information as to where Goofy is. A one-on-one duel that Torox will not win, as the final Polish player secures it and keeps it competitive. Oh boy, that was way too close again. Could have gone both sides. One shot to the head of Goofy would have led URSA to the 12th round that they so much desire. But it's not over. The old boys will once again need to go through hell if they want to have an actual chance. Okay. Early Utzel. Although they will pressure him, and the jump is not good. Oh boy. What a mistake in such a crucial moment. They thought that they had some extra seconds to work with. Ralen tries to spray, but his sprays are getting muted right now by their opponents. Tom burns in the flames. Down he goes. Goofy is the only one that still can give some hope over to the Polish fans. But off and Torox, they will look for each other. 20 kills for Torox. A 4K that he just secured as his team gets to the finish line. One more round will send us onto Mirage. SMGs with a 2400 loss bonus. This is everything that the old boys can bring in. There isn't a defuse kit, which also might end up being a problem. But right now, the only problem is that Torox and Foxes have stepped up. Salazar as well. We said that whoever plays a better T side will win. And while we thought that 7 rounds were enough by the old boys, poof. Little did we know what was about to come out from URSA. Really tight margins. Small details that end up mattering. As Dean keeps on creeping out from Ivy. Torox is there to also cover. He will not use a smoke. That's a mistake. Tutson will go down essentially, but it's still the numbers advantage maintained by Michu. And Salazar, 12 points of foul. Ladies and gents, 24 rounds of gameplay. Indeed it is here on our stream again. Because these two squads want to give us a deja vu, and a deja vu it is. URSA again, a single round win away from closing out Train with a 13-11. Stealing it from the hands of the old boys once more. They will call for another tactical timeout, because in comparison to the very previous time that we saw this exact situation, money is a big issue. They can afford 2 AKs. Actually, oh, never mind. 6,700 for Torox. So, okay, I just want to eat my words. Money is not that big of an issue. It will be the exact same scenario as in round number 2. They will invest whatever they have. And by round 2, I mean round 2 of the upper bracket. So that you don't get mistaken. There comes the AWP. Galeo's had it. It will probably pick up one more. There it is. And here we go. Have the old boys learned their lesson? This is the question that we're asking, and the answer is looking to be given by Michu. Opener already found. Torox is down. An important scope for Michu to secure. And this will lead the T side into trying to hit that B-bomb side once again. Simplifying it has worked in the past for URSA as they rely on it, but Rallen is there. Double kill found. Goofy has spotted the final player. Foxes, there isn't a way out, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, the lesson has been learned. It's a deja vu, but it's something which we haven't seen because it's OT required here on Train. Okay, we reset. We take a moment to breathe freely. Another OT and another close map. Still on the CT side, the old boys theoretically shall have an advantage. You're aiming to get at least 2 rounds. The pressure will be quite big. Remember, important game. Big game. If the old boys win, they will secure a rematch against Wildcard Academy. If URSA wins, then we're going all on to Mirage. Double pop aggression. Something which you still haven't seen out of the old boys. Seems like Dean now thinks about it, but he will eat a bullet to the head. Oh, they missed on each other inside the smoke. So Salazar has made it on towards that B-bomb side. They have absolutely no idea. But let's see whether Goofy will catch him. He will not. As Salazar was aware of this possibility. Quick rotation. Tutson stays where he's at. A flash. And Tom comes from behind to maintain the numbers advantage or bring it back. So the old boys shall better say. Rallen separated by a smoke. Needs to be really careful. It's a bit uncomfortable for URSA. But maybe there is a way out. The old boys, as you can see on the minimap, are quite diligent with their positioning, expecting for the players to be coming out from Ivy. And while Alf cannot be stopped, there is still a chance, there is still a theoretical world in which Rallen catches Foxes. And then, by doing this, wins out the round because it will save enough time for both Tom and Tutson to appear. There it is. The timing is perfect. Tom will catch one. Tom will grab a 4K as the first round goes over to the side of the old boys. URSA. I think what has been working for them so far have been those late Ivy hits by Torox and the late execs with them grabbing... Oh, okay, a round will be reset. Seems like there was a bit of an issue that got sorted out. And what I wanted to say was that what has so far been working for URSA have been those really, really late hits where they leave Torox inside Ivy. They try and activate the later stages through pop, pressuring A, pulling attention away, grabbing early ramp control, pop control. When they have lost the opening duel to either Tutson or Rallen, in the majority of the cases they have been simplifying it, which in the context of this match means straightforwardly hitting that B-bomb side. So let's see. Bit of a pause. Let's hope that all the issues will be sorted out quickly so that we don't need to wait that much. Remember, tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Central European Time, the grand final of ESEA Advanced Season 55. Oh, there it is. My water. Cheers, guys. Salted water. Important electrolytes entering your body. And not only that, but of course, hydration, as you know, extremely, extremely important, especially if you're a caster. Man, let's just, I want to take the time to actually talk about the old boys. Because this is a team that also had some tough matches, you know, against Forza Reload. It ended up on a third map. We covered this on our stream. 13-9 on Nuke, then an 11-13 loss on Mirage, and then 13-8 on Dust 2. They eliminated Team Unity after some dominant performances on Nation and Train. And while against Wildcard Academy, things didn't really go their way. To have a team that came from the lower leagues that ended up being undefeated in the previous season, that went through the regular season showing that individually and as a team they do not falter in the best of ones, and to have that deep run into the upper bracket and now standing a couple rounds away from getting that sweet spot in the grand finale is an absolutely amazing storyline. Of course, a lot of experience on this team, as we pointed out. And this is probably quite helpful in those high-pressure moments. Again, have a look at what we are going to see out of URSA. Torres focused on Ivy. Early ramp control taken by the duo of Salazar and Dean. Knowing Ursus is placed out, they will look to take Pop as well. There comes the flash. They will slow down, use as much time as possible. And they will go for an A hit, probably. It has to be the play if we have read it correctly. This has been their bread and butter. This is what they love doing in those moments. They hold, they just hold, they wait. They hope that the old boys will invest as much util as they have. See where Foxes is. Michu thinks about peeking in. Salazar was prepared, but just a small drop makes the big difference. And that's really unfortunate for the Russian player, because numbers advantage is once again with the side of the old boys. However, it's only Michu currently on B. Quick rotation could come out from Tutson, but he has no clue whether it will end up being a B hit or not. Michu confirms after he has fallen. Rallen alleviates the pressure by shutting down Torox. Tutson really close. It's a good elevated position as the Latvian drops an important kill. HE breaks open the smoke. He needs to fly from two sides and will do this by isolating Tom. Down to a single point of health. Random finally shoots Foxes down. Here comes Alf to save the day. Ursa comes out for what could have been a disastrous round. Well played, especially on the side of Foxes. Again, the star player of the squad comes out alive when his team needed him. As we go into the final round of this first part of OT number 1. Ooh, Alf gets caught. Again, opener found early. This time around, it's the top fragger of Ursa going down. So far, the majority of the openers have been secured by the Polish side. However, what matters slightly more in Train is whether you can actually maintain the advantage. Trade significantly more important than the first kill. And again, that really slow pace. Torox on the left extremity. The remainder of the squad grouping. Likely wanted to hit B. Timing is everything. Goofy doesn't manage to utilize the good position in the moment that there was for him. Rotation's already on the way, but as one comes out from Bob, Raden hears all the footsteps, but the Op will soon peek in. This is Torox catching him. Tutson trades, and as Tutson make his way across to the next train. Where is Michu? Too far away from the action. Tutson is dead. Michu 1-on-3 clutch that will never materialize as Ursa gets 2 rounds on the T side, 14-13. Switch sides and go again is what we say to these two squads. Another extremely close map. Small margins, and the moment that one of these two squads sees an opportunity, they go for it. They don't hesitate. They don't think, okay, what could happen if... Just go, go, go. Flash. Good HE. Scratches Goofy and Tom. We'll take Pop. The exact same default setup that we're seeing in the early stages of the Old Boys' T sites. And Tom pays off by fighting Deez's head. Foxes immediately trades. Needs to be careful about the second player. Yeah, Goofy realized that there was an opportunity. Another flash to not make the Polish player push through that smoke. Would have been dangerous. A pause would be quite nice. Just to make all of Torox and Salazar wonder what is going on. Where are they going? One will need to take a risk at some point. It feels like this would be Torox, but he gets punished. Unfortunate turn of events for him. Another flash. Salazar on B. Alf on A. Has the chance by having Z to quickly rotate over. So this is a doable 2-on-4 defense, actually. If Alf connects with the first shot. There is a molly, so they can push him back. Let's see. The Flames do not quite catch the Opa. Salazar loses without finding a single kill. Alf needs to be extremely precise with those shots. Cannot contribute any further. So another tie appears. The Old Boys playing as if this is their first map of Counter-Strike. With fire, with energy, with desire to win each and every round. With the desire to prove themselves to the world, to remind all the viewers that they still have what it takes. That H is just a number. Oh, look at that. Tom, around the smoke. We'll find a massive headshot. Foxes is down. This is a massive problem. That's quite big. Another target which you want to shut down early. As Salazar again is unable to contribute with a kill. Tutson Sazop keeps on creating more and more problems. And this is a flawless round. The Old Boys out of nowhere, ladies and gents, will catch URSA with their pens down. And while we saw Team URSA being ahead in regulation, guess what? The Old Boys have a chance to close out the series and find themselves, let me say it, after an undefeated previous season in the grand final of ESEA Advanced. Double up setup again, Torox and off. End of the game. A step before the grand final or OT number 2. URSA, they have to hold. 4-man setup strong on A. With the possibility of quick rotations. And Foxes through the smoke catches Tutson. Foxes with another. Torox delivers the third. This could be it. This is pretty much OT secured. And it will indeed be those extra rounds coming our way. Unless Michu goes nuclear. Unless Michu ends this one with a highlight of his career. That will not happen. 15-15. We go again. Unbelievable. Well, we ask for a close map. We get a close map. Hope that you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. Small margins. And the trades, again. Whoever trades faster and more efficiently ends up winning the round. Feels like those opening kills don't really matter that much. But it's all about teammates covering for each other. At this point, kills don't matter. It's all about the desire. It's all about the efficiency. It's all about outsmarting them as Alf gets pushed back by the flash. Good usage of the Uto there on the side of Goofy and Tom. To secure upper ramp. Bichu, does he want to actually push ahead? He knew that there was a cover by the smoke. HE deep on top of Torox, but barely scratches him. See, feels like Alv wants to adapt. This is a maneuver which he has been using from time to time, but the op shot misses. Tom crouching his way towards another win. Salazar in the last two defenses, he was unable to find a kill, and this time around it will not be any different. Dean with 2. Torox has one more courtesy to the op as Foxes joins the party. 79 points of health for him. Torox is a bit too far away. Here comes the op to help him out as the M4 keeps on being deadly as it could be. Tutson with the quick scope who not quite getting, looks for a way to isolate the doors, and that second quick scope is good. Foxes against Tutson in an important one-on-one that Foxes will once again convert for a round win, and URSA can breathe freely. Some be aiming there by the Latvian has been the saving grace in so many of these situations, and he will open up OT number 2 by getting URSA to their 16th. Yeah, you can just feel the pressure in the air. Quite a lot of it here on train. This time around though, a small change. It will not be a secondary op, so we're expecting to see Al being slightly more passive, because having the secondary op actually gives you way more options. You can be moving quickly. Oh, never mind. Look at the pace. It's so quick. Salazar again pressured. This time he'll find one. Alves keeps on contributing with the op. The lone player from the 9 to Pandas team now helps URSA out by getting them a numbers advantage. 3-on-4. Make it a 3-on-3 as Tutson keeps on being competitive, not giving up. 2 of the remaining 3 players have been spotted, and that counter flash was just lovely. Torox is out. Dean can already enter the fight. Another smoke, and the pace keeps on being as quick as it could be. Foxes again left up for a clutch. Michu is low, but time is ticking. There is a defuse kit in play. Incendiary for upper ramp, but Tutson can push through it. Smoke on top of the bomb. 8 more seconds. 7. Foxes cannot find the bomb. And this will lead the old boys into another tie. Unbelievable. It's just so chaotic. But hey, it has to work for at least one of the I was about to say the boys. We have definitely more than one boy, but hey, the old boys, they still try and be as dancing as they can get, even though, as we pointed out, their name doesn't actually show that much. But hey, that quick round, this is experience. Not a lot of teams will go for such an initiative in such a part of a map so deep into train, but they did that. 16-16. Torox thinking about pushing out of Ivy. Doesn't have any extra support. The flash does not really help him out. Only confirms that one is somewhere around behind his back. Something which you could know if you have watched some of URSA's demos. Bomb as of now dropped in the middle of nowhere. Random will pick it up. Will they want to hit on Salazar again? Salazar has been struggling on B. Out of 4 defenses, he has picked up a single kill, relying mostly on either Dean or Alf to be finding the trades. And if they fall by having only one, or by not being able to reposition after firing a shot from the AWP, from the M4 or the AWP respectively, then this is where it gets really tricky, and feels like the old boys will just run it down on B again. This is it. HE breaks open the smoke. Flash is good. Salazar tucked in the corner. Another flash that will catch him, and Dean will be the one who needs to hold on because Salazar is dead. Dean will follow the fate of his teammate again. The struggles of URSA's B anchor are still there. Problems unresolved. Foxes takes a lot of damage. They have spotted off Zob. You can see where Rallan is trying to spray through the smoke, and from the ladder he will get caught. Tom will keep the pressure going. It grows bigger and bigger and bigger. There's no visibility. He's given over to the side of URSA. The old boys are looking to secure 2 rounds on the T side. Foxes will try his luck. But I think that he's running lower and lower on time. No chance given. 17-16 in favor of the Old Boys. Oh boy. Okay, this time around it has been the Polish team getting to a lead. Both teams getting map points that they did not convert. Salazar has disconnected, so let's hope that he's going to be quickly he's going back to where he should be. Here with the server. Here in the server, together with us, is what I wanted to say. Until we wait for him, what can we add? I mean, if you're a Wildcard Academy right now, you're just laughing. You're feeling so comfortable watching it from the comfort of your home, probably on the couch, analyzing the rounds, preparing the strategy for tomorrow. But yeah, it gets really rough. Not that it's impossible for URSA to bounce back on the T side, but it will be quite hard. Let's not forget that actually URSA had that lead on that T side, which is another circumstance that we shall keep in our minds. Both teams extremely competitive, kills relatively equally distributed, with two guys that are clearly falling behind from the rest of their squads. Those are Michu and Salazar. There is a bit of a difference, and right now this has mostly been in the score lines of those B anchors. Goofy has definitely been doing a better job and has been contributing way more than Salazar. You know, I don't want to get that critical, but in high pressure moments, you just need to be really precise. No margin for error is given. Yeah, how are you guys doing in the chat? Is all good? Are we enjoying the match? So yeah, we have quite a lot of people. Some fans of the Old Boys. Some others supporting Team URSA. But yeah, overall it has been a really fun second map. Not that Nuke was not intriguing, but a lot of chaos has been occurring here on Train, and it feels like the rounds are slightly quicker to a certain degree, even though since the beginning of OT probably this has not been the case outside of the B rush that we saw out of the Old Boys. But yeah, let me quickly see how the other matches have played out. And by other matches, I mean those from the ESO Challenger League. Seniors have 2-0 Montai after a 13-5 on map number 2. Nemiga with a 2-0 against 1 win. Okay, K27 with a 2-0 against 500. And we actually have Tritza 3 and Venom going to map number 3. Venom 9-5 as of now. Okay, some really interesting results. Some really, really interesting results. How do we feel about tomorrow's final? Are we positive? It kind of feels like that was one of the quickest ESEA advanced seasons which we have had. And to know that we are 2 weeks away from the major and that we will no longer have any ESEA matches will not really make me that happy. But hey, ladies and gents, what makes me happy is that Salazar officially back. So into round number 34 we go. A small lead for the Old Boys. And I hope that they're going to be able to secure themselves 2 more chances to get that sweet second spot into the grand final. Okay. Another default setup. 3-1-1. Torx covering Ivy. T-Con covered by Foxes. And 3 guys trying to take ramp. And then pop. From there onwards, adaptations. This is what URSA has been doing in a lot of those T rounds. Good incendiary. Burns for a tiny bit in and actually drops down to below 50. Good damage dealt with the incendiary. Here comes the smoke as well to cover pop. That's a ding and Alv is gone. Well played by Tom. Great opening kill already on the tally for the old boys. Fox is inside T-Con. You need to rely on one of his teammates to actually pull the attention away. This is what Dean and Salazar will try and go for, but Foxes will get caught by Rallen. Here comes Tom activating for his second. Not grabbing the third, but dealing a lot of damage will definitely help out with the rest of the defense, unless Salazar with a single point of help. But I think that this is one big, really messy stinking. Unless... And yeah, you can see how difficult it is. He's literally surrounded. They're coming from anywhere. The final bullet to his body has been given. 18-16. The old boys get 2 more chances. They are so close. Literally a single step, a single round win away from getting to a rematch. They fell short against Wildcard Academy. It was not their day. But tonight it has been different. They have looked solid. They have looked good. However, let's not forget, URSA will not give up. Not until the very end. This is a team that has showed resilience, and they need quite a lot of it. Dean really close, and the opener once again has been secured by the old boys. Could this be it? 4 on 5 with minute and 35 seconds on the clock. Four more kills to make the dream happen. Michu through the smoke. Alv is dead. Exactly the scope which you wanted to secure. Run and hold strong around all of his plays. Michu will not be touched. And I think that this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The old boys' miracle run continues. It started from the previous season. They made it to advanced. And you better not underestimate the old boys, because they still got it. They came here to play. They came here to show how things are done. And they need one more. Torox will fall. 19-16 in a sweet 2-0. That sends the Polish team into the grand final. Tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. we will get a rematch between Wildcard Academy and the old boys. Good game, well played.